feels great to be back sharing flips with you. So here's my new journal that I've been using starting in the month of April, and you saw the front and back cover in my last video. So let's just jump in and let me show you the month of April. When you open it up, I just put a piece of scrapbook paper here and just colored in bits and pieces of it. And then I took a piece of tracing paper. I wanted something that was a little bit sheer just so you don't look at the first page immediately. So I just tipped that in, and I like kind of the crinkle sound of it as well. And my first page was the letter from the editor. And I'm going to try, I don't remember if I got a picture of this, but I'm trying to take pictures of them as the magazine so that you can see how I took the magazine and implemented some of the features of it into my journal. So I left some of the words in here. This was letter from the editor, and I just added me in there. I put a piece of masking tape over that and then just some stickers. And I used a napkin in here just to cover it, and you can see the words, which I really like, from the letter from the editor underneath there, and some stamping. Now this green was really bright and it was bugging me, so I put a piece of cheesecloth over it, and it was just enough to dull it down a little bit. Just added some washi tape and just doodling here and there, and that page was complete. So on this next page, the circles were the really big part, the real noticeable part. So I integrated those into my journal by just putting things on the circle, doodling in some cases, and in this one, like, I just basically covered it up. In this one, I just added a little sticker over it. But it's easy to just kind of incorporate them into your work. I did some doodling up here, added some words, and what I'm using for the date now is just a date stamp. So I'm not actually putting any paper down like I did in my last journal, and I'm not using a date strip. I'm just using a rolling, like this, these rolling date stamps, and just stamping the date of when I did it. And the difference from my last journals is before I would do a week at a time. Now I'm just working in them whenever I feel like it. And so I actually think this was just 2 days. This is when I first started. And it's working out perfectly for me. So I pick it up when I want to work on it. A lot of the things on here are just things that were something that I had that I really liked, but I never had a place to put it. So kind of Smashbook-like in a way. And other things are just bits and pieces that are from my desk. This dresser is something I've had for a long time, and I really love it. I wanted to put it down, but then I couldn't leave it alone. I had to add, this little dude peeking out from behind it, and one of my quirkies sitting on it like a lamp. But it really makes me happy when I look at it. So moving on to the next page, this one was all about this girl and stairs. So there were stairs here and stairs there, as you can see from the photo. And it was kind of gray. So I tried to brighten it up by bringing just some circles in. Again, some things that I had on my desk. And this was a guy who I cut it out and then wrote inside his mouth. Did a lot of writing in here and in here. And then just added some flowers to brighten things up. Moving on to this page, this was a pretty dark page, so I had to add white wherever I could. So here I just ended up creating a giant quirky character. And I'm going to be doing that on some of my pages when I feel like it. So I used just some border strips around here, and then created the character. And on this one, I put a lot of white to try and brighten it up a bit, and just added a little bit of journaling on this one. This next page had some dark elements on it, and the topic of it, as you can see from the original magazine, is stay sane on social media. Now what I did was I journaled along here, and then I ended up covering it up. And I don't have a problem with doing that. I've got my words down that I wanted, and when I had it all down here, I didn't really like the way it looked, so I just covered it up with these hearts and various pieces. And now I really like it. So don't be afraid to cover up your work if if you did something and it's not exactly what you had hoped. Again, I just did another big quirky character. I added some rub-ons and some of these flags. This is a card, a plain card. This light bulb moment is when I was thinking about the artist trading coins. And then this word art is something that Elizabeth sent me, and I've been hoarding it, and I thought it was just perfect for there, so I dropped that in. And a stamp that I made that looks like Mozzie. The pages are getting a little brighter in this one now, and what I did here was, this was a grandmother and a granddaughter. And you could see in the original photo she had a hat. And I just took my character and put her right under the hat. And I took this same character and flipped her the other way and made her bigger. And this is about sisters, this journaling that I did. And then I added just some doodles, some tissue, paper. Everything is, this is just some paper to try and brighten it up a bit. And again, this was a piece of paper, and then I journaled directly on there and added a quirky character. And then this background piece here that I've tipped in was from Denise Lush, and I'm going to leave a link to her station as well as Pramita's, because Denise does amazing gel prints. Oh my gosh, she's got the gift. So I used that here, just put it on an index card and did some journaling on that. And really like this page. It's fun to incorporate. Here you can see this is from the car, and I just did some dots along there and then wrote in what would be the window. And it's kind of fun to really look at these things and figure out how to incorporate them into your journaling. Now this one was an actual journaling activity that was in the magazine, and it was things to ask your grandmother. But I answered them from my perspective. And I just added this little girl and some stripping here and there. And then I answered the questions. So these denote which questions, and then I've highlighted the questions over here that I answered. And I love this. This was super fun to do. It really got me thinking about some things of when I was a kid. So that was fun. And this is the last page that I did in April. And as you can see from the original magazine, this was 3 women. And I found this guy and cut him out and made it look like it's on her body. And I added some Tim Holtz paper dolls in the background here and drew a line to make it look like the street. And then I left, this was a statement that was originally in there, and I really liked it, and I highlighted the things that stuck out to me. I added a big heart that Jan had sent me and put that in here. And then these are copies of 3 of my artist trading coins, and I wanted to put them in there and remember that. And I just put some white dots around them to try again to brighten up the page. Just adding dates here and there, and that was it. And I tell you, this has really been fun to do it this way. Instead of just putting a piece of white paper over it, I have thoroughly enjoyed this. So I'm going to town on it. I did more pages in this than I normally do when I do a whole week spread. So I know that it's working well. So that's my April spread. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging in there with me while I figured out what I wanted to do with my journaling. I think I found something that works for me at least this year or this month, and so I'm going to continue on with this, so you'll see a May flip for sure. And I really want to thank Pramita for her help. She didn't knowingly help me. She's just been putting out videos with her journaling, and they really inspired me. And they spoke to me, and it gave me that spark to go ahead and start journaling again. So thank you to her as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.